Hey boys and girls, Mrs. Potter here. Guess what? We're going to be learning about, you guessed it, plot. I bet a lot of you know this skill already. When you think about a good organized story, I bet you think about the characters, maybe the problems that they face and how they solve the problem. Lots of times when we think of a story, we think about it having a beginning, a middle, and an end. So let's take a look at this graphic right here. It looks like a roller coaster. I love thinking about plot as a roller coaster, like going on a big ride or climbing a mountain. So when we think about plot, we're going to be thinking about coming, like starting at the beginning, moving all the way through how it's so exciting. All these things happen, and then at the middle of the story, oh my God, it's like the most exciting thing, and then it kind of goes down, and then it ends. Okay, so we're going to be thinking about that, and we're going to be adding in some new vocabulary that's going to help us understand the plot even deeper. So let's take a look at our goal for this skill. So the first thing that we're going to be thinking about as fourth graders, we're going to be able to describe the plot structure of a story using specific details from the text to support it. So if we're talking about that beginning part of the story or the events that lead up to that really exciting part, we're going to be able to take details from the story and kind of and make sure that we use those to explain it. The other thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to be learning some new vocabulary that's going to help us to really explain the plot of a story. These are vocabulary words that you are going to see in fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade, all the way up through college. So the first one is exposition. The next one is rising action. The next one is climax. Then we have falling action and resolution. And those terms we're going to become very familiar with, and they're going to help us to explain the plot of a story. Let's take a look at this mountain. So let's take a look. First, there's some cool vocabulary words. So here we have exposition. So I'm going to go ahead and underline exposition. Okay, that's the beginning of the story where the characters and setting are introduced. The next vocabulary word is that rising action. You can see where it is on the story mountain or the roller coaster. It's on the way up to that climax. This is where we see that that main character is facing a series of conflicts, all like little different problems that lead to the most exciting part of the story or the climax. And then the next part is the falling action. And this is all the events, and there might not be as many. Do you see how it's a little bit smaller than the rising action? The falling action is a little bit smaller. There might not be as many events that lead to that last part, which is the resolution or the solution or the end of the story. So really, when you think about the way that a good story is set up, you introduce the characters in the setting, then you immediately get into like the different conflicts that that character is facing. Then there's a really big, exciting part, and it doesn't necessarily have to be right in the middle of a story. If there's like 10 pages to a story, the climax doesn't have to be on page 4 or 5. It could be towards the end a little bit more because there might be a lot of events that lead up to that. So the next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be watching some videos, and we're going to be doing some different activities that use these different vocabularies so that you get really good at it. Okay, have fun.